I am with Nana Alexandria. Nana, you have played the World Championship match.
Two matches.
Two matches. Can you tell us something about those two matches?
When the first match was very sorrowful for me, not only because of the loss. I lost the match against Nana Gaprindashvili, who started a new era in women's chess. It was in 1975. But the most painful was the result, because I lost the last 8.5 and 3.5, and there was a tragic moment in this match when I had a winning ninth game, absolutely winning. She could resign, and then in her time trouble I started calculating that this is the third win in a row, and I was making my situation very hopeful in this match. And when this extra emotions enter during the game, it's always bad, and I just blundered a piece and I lost this match, this game. And then the match, 2 games, it was already finished without any motivation I played. Another match was a very tough match. It ended 8-8, and this is the only match in the history of women's chess which ended equal result. And
this was against Maya.
Chiburdanidze. Maya was just before Hao Yifan. She was the youngest ever world champion at the age of 17. Now this record has been broken at the 16 new world champion, but also we must mention that it was the different system. When Maya was fighting for the world championship, it was a 3-year cycle,
yes.
So it was much more difficult to become the world champion. Okay, and it was a tough match, and many chess specialists consider that I had better chances in this match, but anyway, it ended, and it was also very painful, because I was, you feel that you are so near to become the world champion for the aim which you are fighting, living through so many years, and if you have feeling that this was the last chance, well, I had some more chances, but so near, so it was the nearest chance. In 83, in 86, 83, I also, I was third. I was second in the candidates matches, which the last time, 86, when I still had chances. It was in Malmö, when this is a Swedish city. They organized this championship because of Kramling. Pia was then very popular. She women's Oscar, and she was before the Bulgars came rushed the women's chess. Pia was very successful, and I was second, and I was very unlucky with Pia. It happened. I started with 2 zeros, and it was eight participants tournament only, and with 8 participants who are they're equal. There is no weak opponent when you start with 2 zeros, and I won the second round, tour. I beat Akhmilovskaya, who became the winner of this tournament, and at the last in the second circle I had with Pia this game, and I had advantage with black, and then when 40 moves were done already and the arbiter is approaching with envelope, I decided to be quick and make the move so that she would seal the move. And I took the knight, and then I saw that I am blundering a pawn. And I was so shocked that instead of putting the knight and then playing knight d5, c7, defending the pawn, I still changed. And it was so unexpected for Kramling that for 40 moves she could not seal the moves. It was a shock that I blundered central pawn, e6 pawn. So a half point was enough that I was second. And after 86, I started down. And in 90, I said, no, it's enough to qualify to play for high aims, because in 90 in Malaysia, Genting Highlands, it was the first time for 20 more years that I did not qualify to the candidates tournament. This was a tournament from where to the World Championship entered Siejun, and then Siejun became the winner of the World Championship in that cycle. So in 90 I said, that's easy now. I only played for the team, Yugoslavian team, for a while, and for some international tournaments in Indonesia. I had their friends and they were organizing tournaments. And in 2005 I played the last tournament. And somehow I'm still connected with chess. I'm the head of chess school in the Youth Palace of Tbilisi, but I do not play anymore.
Nana, in some ways we could say that you are like Korchnoi or you are like Keres. You are almost there and you didn't become the world champion. Does it...
Yeah, Misha Tal wrote, when he wrote about me, he said, well, this is what he said, second forever or whatever, and then he finished his article that, believe me, it's much more difficult to be for 10 years second in the world than to be the first for 2 years. He said, well, he could, like, well, it's not like this to become the world champion. It's much better and much more difficult. But anyway, yes, I was twice in 2 cycles. I was second.
Yes.
And twice I was third. And as I said, in 8 cycles, I was among challengers. Well,
yeah, it's true.
Perhaps I cannot say that I was unlucky or whatever, because I had 2 opponents which were, both of them were new words for women's chess, and with both I played when they were in the top and not when they were descending. And if I've been lucky from that point of view, and if my opponent was Pikova, like my Nona played with Pikova, I would be more successful perhaps. But okay, I had 2 great champions whom I played the match. Okay, it's how it was.
So this, like, it's sort of an unfulfilled dream, but
Yes.
you kind of learn to live with it in a way, yes?
Yeah, it is sometimes when I lost the game, 15th game against my Chiburdanidze, and it was clear that then I beat her in the 16th. I made it, and I knew that I would win the last game, and it was a good game. But anyway, after the 15th game, I could not recover, and for 2 days I took, then the day off was possible in those matches. So 2 days I was in bed, because I was saying farewell to the World Championship. I knew that, and it was difficult. And I had a very, very, very interesting story. Not long ago, in July, quite near summer, I met Garry Kasparov in Split. And we were discussing those things, old things, and then I remembered the history about Hedgehog. You know Hedgehog?
Yes.
So there was interesting history. When I played the match with my Chiburdanidze, it was half in Borjomi and half in Tbilisi, in Georgia both. And in Borjomi part, I had advantage, serious, and I won the first game, and I was leading. And then when I had a walk, the chess players had energy and they must walk and have physical training and also. And I saw Hedgehog. You did not run and just was standing, and I took this Hedgehog, and then I let this Hedgehog out. And when I came to the cottage, you call it, to the house where I had my trainers and so, and there was Dvoretsky and Palatnik, and one of them, either Mark or Ksenia, when I said that I had a Hedgehog, he said, why did you let this Hedgehog go? Because Hedgehog brings luck. So then I started spoiling my situation in the tournament. I moved to Tbilisi already -1, not minus. At that moment, when I had this Hedgehog, I was +1. And so when I
came to Tbilisi, and I had in mind that Hedgehog somewhere. So in Tbilisi, I also, after the game, then we were starting at 5 o'clock and finishing late. And late, my husband was walking together with me, and it was almost dark, and then I saw that something ran. Yeah, I said, it's Hedgehog. So I ran, and I caught the hedgehog, and we took it home. I lived in the hotel, but I gave the hedgehog to my husband, and he kept it in this wooden cartoon box.
Yes.
And so I started, after coaching this, I started recovering my situation. I won the one game, so it became equal. And when the match, my husband did not say me until the match ended, but when the match ended, my husband told me that the hedgehog ran out at the 15 during the 15th game. The hedgehog in this box, cartoon box, so this is, and ran from the balcony during the 15. And then when I said that, and Kaspar Garik was asking me, and how about luck, Nana? Or the hedgehog has run away. So the hedgehog ran away.
Yeah, it's a very nice story.
Yeah, really. No, it ran away during the 15th game when I lost this the game.
Unbelievable. Nana, you said about Dvoretsky and having this strong team. How did that team develop for
my
you?
trainer, one of my home trainer, Janoev, is here today. Well, I was lucky with trainers. My first trainer was Karseladze, who is considered the founder of the Georgian phenomena, which really existed because for 30 years Georgian ladies kept the title without break. And it's quite a miracle. He said that Nana will become the world champion. He said that the match will happen with Nana and Nana, but he died very early, 47. Then I was young, and we thought that he's quite old, but he was 47 only when he died. Then my trainer was Grandmaster Korchnoi, the first Grandmaster, Georgian Grandmaster. Yes. Then David Janoev, and then I had a good team. But I told Mark in this article, which Mark asked me to write some preface for this one of his books. And there I said that I was lucky that I had the chance to work, and it's good that I had chance, but it's bad that it was late. When everything has, you may have a good understanding of chess, but you must be also the one who fulfills this idea. So chess is like you are a director and an actor together. You may have good ideas, good understanding, but you must have how to strengths to play. And when the age goes, your nervous system is all damaged, your energy is damaged, your memory is damaged. So I told Mark that I was unlucky that to meet him a little bit late. We had good results together with Mark, and in his book he wrote that Nana was the first who started crying that Mark is the best trainer of the world, and I think that that's right, because working with him was very interesting. When you work on theory, it's always it becomes tiring, but working with Mark was always very interesting.
But why was he the best trainer
in the world?
Yes, why would you say that?
If you read his books, you understand how he, first of all, he was analyzing at my age the most. It was no computer, and the book and informator was all information was. Mark was studying the first game from the first to the end to find what might be interesting, all types of systematizing, but he was studying everything. He was born trainer. He stopped playing himself when he approached elite chess. He found himself in this, and he knew how to. What is your minus? Well, to become better, it's like a medicine. You must know your problem, analyze your problem. It's not enough to say, well, you are stop being in time trouble, like some others told me. You must analyze the reasons why the time trouble is. Is it a personal? In many cases, this is personal, and in life you also take decisions very not easily when you have a choice. Is it personal, and then you have perhaps personal, some psychologist or whatever, somehow to, everybody is different, and I cannot become you or whatever, but if you want to have results, your mind must be somehow, you must, not as such weakness, it cannot become your plus, but you must make it
balanced.
More, understand, yeah, with my fingers. Okay, and he could analyze that. Why? Because is it a problem when you move from opening to the middle game, or is it a realization problem, or whatever the problem? And he had to overcome this. He started, for instance, he was trying to make me write down the time on the score sheet, and then analyze why I was losing this time there, and then to have the general picture. But as he wrote in his book, I was putting it, but I could not follow his program, for instance, in half moves, in 1 hour, 20 moves, and then the last 10 moves, not less than half an hour. Whatever happens, you must follow this. But then I would say, and when Mark was looking on that, at Nana, see Nana, you do not follow this one. And I said, Mark, well, I was to fight for the first place. So I had to think to find the best, because it was the case for the first place. So I did not quite obey, because I was still somehow connected with the results, and perhaps for the when you have to fight for the high aim, you must forget for the minor first places. So I was not perhaps following this very well, but the main thing is that Mark was very urged. His proposal was that I had a psychologist, contacts with a typical psychologist. I had psychological helps during the tournament, Zagaino was, but it was of another type, a real professional psychologist who would say my nervous system and my readiness to the psychological attacks or whatever, to be ready, because during the games you know that such things might happen also, and it must not devour you if you unexpectedly get this sort of attack. You must be ready to overcome it, so that it would not influence on the game very much. So, now that I analyze this, I think that he was right, and I can remember several situations when I was absolutely not ready, and I could really say that this was the result of my not readiness to be calm on this type of attack or. So,
but if you had to go back to that period and obey what Mark had said, would you? No, I mean, would you do that right now, or would you still think?
I would do that right now, but nobody knows if I would become anyway the world champion, because I say it's clear to see the errors that you have done in your previous professional activity, but it is not necessarily that if I obey it would result in a better in achieving my aim, because I had two real great champions that yes. I uncovered, and one is clear because of this perhaps nervous stability that I had. Now that I said that sometimes when I see the games and even greatest world champions, have blunders, all of them, but the number of blunders that I did, it's impossible. So I said that I had no chance. If you make blunders so many times, I had, for instance, my error. One of my errors became, as Yugoslavs told me, number one error of the 20th century. Like I had a 4 against 3. On one king side, and king and queen, absolutely winning. And her king, Maximovic was, her king was in a bad situation, also in 4 -3, and just queens. And we were blitzing, well, time trouble, but 40 moves are made, and none of us knows that. But her king, all the pieces are, kings are on H line, and E5, E6, E5, no, so that. And her king is queen. She put queen on E8, and I played queen D8.
Free
You
queen.
play chess?
Yeah,
Play
of course.
chess. So here is queen, and I put queen here, just here. And she and her time and flag fall down, because it's not possible that the chess player does such thing. It's not possible.
Why did you play that move?
It's some you know, when the head stops, some nerves, something that when you lose your head, and such things happened. I lost one game in the Olympiad, World Chess Olympiad, when in a strategically winning position, rook takes d1 mate, with taking my rook, not only first line mate, just rook takes d1 mate. And when I see such mistakes, everything happens, but when it is in such number, then there is something that your head, some moment, stops functioning. Either this is, it cannot endure time pressure, time trouble, and then you must do whatever Mike Stark says. Yeah, half an hour, 10 moves, and it does not matter what you do. As at the last, after 80s, 89, I played 88 Soviet Union Championship. I had very good results in the Soviet Union Championships. I played not much, because I was playing all those matches. And that's the worst result in my life. But I was playing so terribly in time trouble that Rashkovsky was such grandmaster, and he told me, Nana, when you have 5 minutes left, please stop the clock, because to save your nerves and to save our nerves. So it is, you must, if you have something like, you must analyze then. Why is this is possible? So why is your hand is closing that much that not even the beginners do? Although I said once in life something, no, this error cannot happen anywhere, because it is number one error of the 20th century when I put like this. So this should be analyzed. What Mark recommended me to take a psychologist, a professional psychologist, to analyze what happens with your head, why it closes, and if it closes, what you should do not to come to that position. Perhaps you must just hand with just to on your understanding and play with hand. Believe your hand is so. If you have good understanding, it's also possible.
Sure.
Yeah, just not to come to that level when you can do such things. So he was right, and I would be more understandable to that than having such life. If you have just 50 years on your shoulders of chess activities, then of course it is easier to see the errors. And well, I would be clever, and I was not.
Nana, you after your chess career, you have done tremendous work to promote women's chess.
Yes, it's like this.
But there was one question which I have asked many people, and I would like to ask you as well. Is it possible for women to reach the level like Judith Polgar did? But yes, you did, but she was an exception, and you have seen women's chess so closely. Is it possible for a lot of women to reach like top 10 in open chess, completely reach the level about 2750? And
what is house rating now?
She's around 2690.
but then in my years it was even not possible to dream of such results. Yes, just nobody could say that Judith would enter. It is possible to enter first 10. So it's moving. Well, the level. You know, when I started playing chess, Fischer still was saying that he would give a knight to a lady and win, and also not a knight was too much perhaps, but it was near. So the level of women's chess has changed, much changed. When I analyzed my games now, I said, well, it's not that. It is really changed, and due to Nana Gaprindashvili and my Chiburdanidze and then Polgars, and why not? They were wunderkinds, both of them, Maya and Judith, and new wunderkinds might appear, and why is it so impossible? Yeah. If they did, it is possible. Not all. The whole level has become much nearer. Now they can elite women players can beat any grandmaster, and it is nothing, no sensation. Sure. I have some results. I beat Timon when he was not that Timon, but still that I win. Well, now it's more and more of women players, elite players, can participate and can beat good grandmasters. And world champion, I don't know. What about men? To become world champion among men, Polgars had that yeah. But anyway, it's moving forward.
Sure.
I don't know how far that comes.
Nana, you have some relations with India. Can you tell us something about your...
I had good remembrance about India in 87, as Vichy was right. I said 86, and he was right when I saw the books. 87, I played in Madras International Tournament. It was the first women's international tournament in Asia, and I shared the first place with, there was a Sofieva, young junior champion girl from Azerbaijan. It was a good tournament. Lazarevich played Arachamia. You heard perhaps about her. Arachamia was a very talented young girl. She made a record result in the Olympiad, 12 out of 12, for instance. And we won Madras, and it was fantastically organized. Aaron was one of the organizers, and I have a lot of pictures and a lot of nice remembrance about that period. And because Taj Mahal I saw the first time I stayed then in New Delhi, Mahabalipuram, very impressive. And by the way, I had lectures in New Delhi, and they offered me, they suggested to stay in India to teach for some period, but I had a family already, so I could not stay. And then already as a representative of FIDE, as you mentioned, for 16 years I was the chairperson of women's chess in FIDE. I was FIDE representative at the New Delhi World Championship, so I had a good hand for Vichy. Vichy became world champion then, and Vichy's trainer was my friend, a Georgian guy, Elis Barubilava. And I remember when I entered the lobby of the hotel, when I just came to the to New Delhi, right, and Vichy was coming, and she said in a pure Georgian words, he addressed me with Georgian words, hello with Georgian sentence.
Can you say that sentence?
What that means? How are you, pretty one? My beauty, or whatever, something like this. Very shocking because so I saw him in Madras also. I had a chance when he was junior world champion already, and when he came, he was already the name and a very promising one in India. I know Koneru. I knew the sister Kadilkars. We played in international tournaments together. We played in the World Chess Olympiads, and we had also correspondence. We changed correspondence with them. I had letters from Kadilkar sisters. So if you happen to meet them, my best regards to them. What else?
And Humpy, you met once in
yes,
some tournament.
Humpy. I was very impressed. I was her fan, I say, because I like her personality also. And I remember when I was also FIDE representative in Mongolia Grand Prix. In that cycle, Humpy had chances to be number one and to challenge the World Championship, and it was one of the last for her, the last World Cup, World Grand Prix, and she was not successful, and it was very painful for her. And when she, after the game, when she descended to the hall, to the restaurant, and it is understandable how painful it is when you lost your very good chance to become the challenger. And she had the badge. Tomorrow is another day.
Oh.
It was very, very impressive, really. So,
Wonderful. And lastly, I would like to ask you that if there was a message that you had to give to all the women out there playing chess, young girls as well as women, what would that be?
If you have some aim, chess, or whatever in your life, try not to lose your energy or your time on some minor things, and try to concentrate on that main.
Thank you so much for your time and this wonderful advice.